Republicans struggled to elect a speaker this week, but they will soon turn their focus in a different direction, to President Biden and his administration. The GOP plans several big probes. Some could hit the target, but others carry the risk that they might misfire. The Republican Party might have only a slim majority in the House of Representatives, but any majority at all is enough to launch investigations, and that's a power the GOP is going to use. There are several things Republicans want to investigate. The 2021 withdrawal from Afghanistan.
We'll not conduct a hasty rush to the exit. We'll do it responsibly, deliberately and safely.
Border security, threats from China, the influence of big tech, the origins of COVID. The political risks and rewards around those issues are very different, however. For sure, there are political benefits for the GOP on several of those topics. The way that the United States left Afghanistan was widely viewed as an embarrassment, especially after the sacrifices made during 20 years of war.
A few thousand Americans watching over there would make it hard for Al-Qaeda and ISIS to reorganize to hit us over here. Those eyes and ears will be gone.
Questions still remain as to why exactly the pullout was so chaotic and so deadly. Republicans could ask hard questions about the White House's actions on that issue. Similar political dynamics are at work on immigration. Encounters between unauthorized migrants and border agents at the southwestern border reached an all-time high of almost 2.4 million in the most recent fiscal year, which closed at the end of September. And there's no sign of those numbers letting up. Now, people can debate exactly why those numbers have spiraled. Is it Biden's policies or factors beyond his control in other nations, or some combination of the two? But the fact remains that immigration is one of the issues on which Biden polls worst. So anything Republicans can do to keep the spotlight on the topic will probably help them. But other topics are not quite so simple. Take COVID, for example. That's one where Republicans have a narrower path to walk. They have to be careful they don't fall down a rabbit hole of conspiracies. And in contrast to topics like immigration, Afghanistan, or inflation, COVID is one of Biden's stronger issues. A polling average maintained by data site 538 shows a plurality of Americans backing the president's handling of that issue. Perhaps most complicated of all is the issue of Hunter Biden. Democrats don't like to acknowledge that there are plainly valid areas of inquiry there.
I think there are all kinds of questions that need to be answered, and we're determined to get there.
We want to know what the Biden administration is trying to hide from the American people and why they are not being transparent.
If Hunter Biden used the prestige of having a father who was vice president to gain access in foreign governments, then we ought to know about that.
The president's son acknowledged back in 2020 that there was an ongoing federal investigation into his tax affairs. And the basic question of why Hunter was being paid tens of thousands of dollars a month by a Ukrainian energy company for several years last decade has not really been answered in a convincing way. But even so, Republicans need to be careful that they don't seem obsessed with an issue that has limited relevance to most Americans' lives. And any inquiry into the president's family life, a history marked by personal tragedy, is sensitive by its nature. Any one of these probes could easily come to dominate 2023, but they could just as easily play out in unexpected ways.